This is a quick look at using SmartTags with the SignMetrix software within BrightAuthor on a BrightSign player. Now what I mean is that SignMetrix has a number of capabilities, from all kinds of sensors and all kinds of Bluetooth sensing when you're close to a media player. I'm focusing on the SmartTags, which are basically Bluetooth connected tags that connect to your BrightSign player when they're lifted or put down, placed back. The BrightSign player needs to have a Bluetooth connection, for instance, either the Wi-Fi card or a Bluetooth dongle, which you can actually see on the SignMetrix website with the criteria, and that connects into the USB. And we then sense the Bluetooth of the SmartTags within the BrightSign player area. The things that you need to have, a prerequisite for using SmartTags on a BrightSign player, is to have the OS extension from SignMetrix put onto the player. You can do that either by publishing a presentation with the SignMetrix OS extension as if it were a OS update, and that will just add the SignMetrix capabilities to your OS. The OS has to be a minimum of 9192, sitting on a Series 3, 4, 5, or 6 player. So it's pretty flexible in use. The advantage of using an extension is that you don't need to use plugins. You don't need to use any kind of special software within your presentation. And that basically means that if you're using a BrightSign player with another CMS, say it is AppSpace or one of those, you'll be able to use that extension and incorporate SmartTags into your presentation in that CMS. In this example, I'm going to use BrightAuthor, which everybody gets for free. I'm using BrightAuthor Connected to be able to sense two SmartTags that I configured within the SignMetrix system. Now the SmartTags are, if you haven't seen them, they're little physical tags that are about 1 inch by 3/4 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch wide. They have little batteries in them. They last like 4 years when you go to use them. And you could put these tags inside of products. You can stick them to the bottom of products. And they're basically sensors that when you lift something up, it will trigger a clock to start running on the SignMetrix website. And then once it is placed back down, it will stop the timer, and you will then get the location, basically the media player, the BrightSign media player, and the product, which you've configured in SignMetrix, as well as the tag. So you'll get all of that happening. In addition, you'll also get the time and how long the tag was in the air. So you get a lot of information by just installing the extension. Now, the first thing I want to show you here is on the screen I have in Notepad, I have the UDP that is communicated from the tags to the BrightSign presentation, to the BrightSign player. And this UDP has the Smart Box, which is the BrightSign serial number, the SmartTag, which is the number that you configure on the SignMetrix website. You go there and you buy the tags and you attach them to a product. The product is, in this case, I call it my product, but you have that product definition. You configure that within the SignMetrix system. There's two actions. There's pick start. So when you pick up the tag, this UDP gets sent to the player, and you can change a graphic or whatever you like, but it also gets posted to the server. And then when you put the tag down, you get a pick end UDP that comes in. It gets posted to the server as well. On the server side, the time that the tag was in the air is calculated, as well as the time that in the day when it was lifted up and where it came from, which player, and so on and so forth. Now within the BrightSign presentation, within BrightAuthor, all you can see is a UDP. So you'll be able to go from one graphic to the next using this UDP. And in the background, you're tracking how these tags are lifted. Okay, so let's go there. So there's the UDP format. Your UDP will be obviously having your serial number from your BrightSign player and your tag number, and it will automatically populate on your products. Okay, so let's just jump into BrightAuthor. And here I have BrightAuthor. You'll notice very simple presentation. If you've worked with BrightAuthor at all, you've probably seen that it has a lot of capability and a lot of ways to do one thing. You can have 50 ways to do one thing. In this case, I am basically listening for UDP events, and I'm using those UDP events to change between two graphics. One UDP event is cake, and another UDP event is chili. And these are products that I've defined in the SignMetrix system. You'll notice on the right side here, I have specified the UDP input for this one. So here I have the UDP input that I'm going to be listening for, And you get this from the SignMetrix system. This is the UDP you'll be listening for. It's a pick start for the product called Cake. You'll notice there's a UDP there. It'll switch to the Cake graphic. When it's on the Cake graphic, it'll go, that's the pick start. When it goes on to the Cake graphic, we'll have a pick end. So if I click on this UDP, when it's in this state, it's going to listen to a pick end. So that'll put it back down and it'll go back to that graphic there. Same thing with chili. You'll notice here I have the tag is a different tag number. Pick start of the chili. Okay, it will go to this graphic. When the chili graphic is, when the tag is put back down, it'll send a pick end event with that smart tag and go back to this graphic here. So you'll notice the workflow is a standard BrightAuthor workflow where the only thing that you have to deal with are the UDP strings that are coming in. Again, you know, if you are an advanced user of BrightAuthor, you'll be able to do all kinds of parsing and using variables and wildcards to be able to customize your approach. I just wanted to show you how simple it is from this basic set to be able to publish this presentation and have UDPs interact like normal, but also be able to post up into the cloud. So let's take a look at the SignMetrix system here. Let me just jump into that. And here's the SignMetrix system that I was telling you about. So in the dashboard, go there, you'll notice there's a whole bunch of different capabilities the SignMetrix hardware and software allows you to do. I'm going to go to Interaction. Interaction is where the smart tags are placed. And I go to Today, how many things I have going today. And here I'll have my active stores, the brands, that sort of thing, and a heat map of what was happening today, for instance. And here I have cake and chili, how many times they're being interacted with, so on and so forth. And you can make all kinds of views here in this dashboard. But let's go to reports. So I'm going to go into reports, and I go to interaction reports. And my interaction reports, you'll see there's cake and chili up here. I'm going to go to today. I can pick any of these date ranges, but I'm going to go today just to show you. I'll do a search on that, and here's my interaction for today. So I want to show details. So I'll go here, show details, and you'll notice there's a table here now with all the interactions that have been happening today. Okay, so 4:13 p.m., the product chili was lifted, that tag that you saw, and that's all part of this, the definition of that product here, its brand, its store, that sort of thing, the region it's in, and how long it was aloft, 4 seconds. And as you go down through, you'll get exactly what was lifted when. There's cake was lifted here at 3:52 p.m. It was at the stand snack bar sign. The brand is Big and Tall Guy. Categories trolling. It's kind of all over the map what I've done as a demo. But it was aloft for 3 seconds. You can go up here and you can download it into Excel and use an Excel and make your own charts and make your own PowerPoints. So you can see it's very simple to use. Now the final part I just want to show you, if you're not already familiar with it. If you go to downloads once you're signed in, you'll notice there's a BrightSign download and OS extensions. Grab the OS extension. You'll be familiar with this BSFW file, which means BrightSign firmware. Download the one for your particular player and pop that onto the card of the player that you want SignMetrix implemented onto. What that will do is it'll be now resident on that player, and it'll always be there no matter how many times you publish or whatever. You actually have to factory reset the player to remove that extension. So you're in pretty good shape that you won't lose it. Now, once you're running, you're golden. You can just go into the SignMetrix system and in your dashboard and get a really good view of your interactions over a large period of time. So, for instance, I only have 2 stores. I have up in the north, and I have one down in Florida. Called Cuddle Gators. And you'll have all your interactions and all your heat maps here over the months that you view it. Okay? So give it a shot. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to SignMetrix and we can give you a hand with that. But you'll find this is very easy to use and very transparent to your workflow.